The challenges that musicians face when they're starting out, when they're forming their bands, when they're building these relationships, are many and are hidden. You're overwhelmed with the sense of possibility. It's something that comes with being young, that we can do this. We're going to take over the world. You know, we're all together now, man. We got the band, the gang. You know, it's the same kind of sense of camaraderie. You know, and you gloss over what's really going on in the dynamic of the band, because not everybody in the band is equal. Not everybody in the band does the same amount of work. You know, the bass player and drummer might show up and contribute their parts, but they don't write any music. They don't write any lyrics. You know, they don't, call any booking agents. They don't set up meetings with managers, but they're there doing their job. And sometimes, you know, it's something that needs to be talked about, so that as time evolves, there's clarity. You know, the union system of leader and sidemen worked pretty well for 40 or 50 years. You know, that there was a band leader. The band leader was responsible for the bookings. He was paid twice what the other guys were paid in scale. And the sidemen received their union wage. It made, at least for a clear dynamic, you know, in my era when bands started, I remember going to the union at one point. They were trying to organize rock bands, and I said, you know, we don't work like that. You know, we're communists. But I think it's something that needs to be talked about. You know, who does what in the band, who writes the songs, you know, who's really running the show. You know, almost never are bands true democracies. They're more like benign dictatorships. Somebody is the guy that's got the ideas and the vision, and the other guys are guys that are helping him do that. And if you're clear about that in the beginning, it works fine. You know, like today, you know, I'm trying to do something, so I find people that are sympathetic to what I'm trying to do and are happy to help me do what I'm doing. It makes for a clear understanding. You know, I write the music, I write the lyrics, but I'm open to collaboration. But we talk about it in terms of, this is a collaboration. If you and I sit down and write a song, I say, we wrote this song together. Or if I have 3/4 of a song and you add a little bit, I say, I wrote 3/4 and you wrote 1/4. So we make an accommodation. It's clear. We've talked about it. The trouble with bands in the beginning is they don't talk about this stuff. They talk about girls and success and fame, and all that masks the real nuts and bolts of, you know, what collaboration is.